Hi guys, welcome back to week 8. So we're going to be doing some more stuff with the quadratic formula. And I will have to do this. I'm going to do this with my mic sensor or with my mouse sensor. Seemed to be a lot of problem with the pen last time. So bear with me. It's going to take some time, but we will get through this. The quadratic formula. And you should have this written down somewhere. X equals the opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. And that whole thing, all of it, is over 2 times A. Now is your quadratic formula. And it comes from your quadratic equation where you have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And it has to be like that. It's got to be equal to 0 or it can't be done. So just like factoring, you got to set them equal to solve. So we come over here, and we're going to have x is equal to the opposite of b, which is 6, plus or minus the square root of b, which is negative 6, squared, that's in parentheses, minus 4 times a, and I usually put these in parentheses. A is 3, and c is negative 72. And that whole thing ends up getting divided by 2 times a, which is 3. So that's going to equal, I'm going to take the handy dandy calculator. And I'm going to do what's under that square root. So I'm going to do b squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 72. And I get 540. Six plus or minus the square root of 540 all over 2 times 3, which is 6. So the next step, find out what the square root of 540 is, which that's 6 root 15. So we get 6 plus or minus six root 15 all that over 6. Now, because we have a number here, a number here, and a number down here, and they're all 6, and they're all divisible by 6, and we end up with 1 plus or minus the square root, 1 times the square root of 15, all over 1. So we don't actually write that over 1. You guys know that. So our solution set for this is going to be 1 minus square root of 15. And 1 plus the square root of 15. Like I said, I'm trying to write with my mouse, so this is better than that pen I had. We'll come on to our next one. There's A. B is -11, C is -12. So our X is going to equal the opposite of B, which is 11, plus or minus the square root of -11 squared minus 4 times A, which is 5, times C, which is -12. Now it goes back because that is equal to 0 all over 2 times 5. So I'm just going to put 10 in here. And then I'm going to put my 2A in there, just 10. So I'm going to start taking some shortcuts on these just because writing with this is not the easiest thing. So I do -11 squared minus 4 times 5 times -12. And I get 361. So our x's equal 11 plus or minus the square root of 361 all over 10. And the square root of 361 is 19. So what I really have here is 11 minus 19 over 10. And I have 11 plus 19 over 10. Well, 11 minus 19, I'm going to go right to the solution set here, is -8. And -8 divided by 10 is -4/5. And -11 plus 19 is 30, divided by 10 is 3. And we have our solution set, -4/5, 3. A few more to do here. And again, these would be really hard to do by completing the square, because you'd have to divide by 7. Middle term is going to be -2/7, and half of that's -1/7. The squaring is 1/49, and that's just hard. So the quadratic formula works very well for these. So x is going to equal the opposite of b, which is 2. All our b's have been negative so far. That's crazy. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times 7, whoops, positive 7, times -3. These are all working out nice and positive. No imaginary numbers yet. All over 2 times 7. So that's going to be 2 plus or minus square root. I'm doing the square roots like this for a reason. I suggest you at -2 squared minus 4 times 7 times negative 3 is 88. Unless I hit something wrong in the calculator. Over 14. No, square root of 88, I believe, is going to be 4 root 11, or 2 root 11, sorry. Yep, no, 2 root 22. Yeah, you can take out a 4. Yeah, 2 root 22. 2 plus or minus 2 root 22 all over 14. Now, if I look what I can cancel here, I have to cancel this one or divide by these 3 pieces. You cannot divide into the square root here, ever. So that's going to equal 1. I'm just going to go right to my solution set. 1. Oh, that should have been a lot shorter. Sorry about that. One minus root 1 times root 22 is root 22 over 7, comma 1 plus root 22 over 7 and solution set. All right, over to this one. X is going to equal opposite. B is 12 plus or minus square root negative 12. If you don't put these in parentheses, it's not going to come out right in there for you. Have to be in parentheses. That's positive 144, not negative. Minus 4 times 2 times 15, negative 15, sorry. All over 2 times 2, which is 4. X is going to equal 12 plus or minus. And let's see what we get here. Negative 12 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 15 equals 264. And the square root of 264 is 266. All over 4. Now looking at my numbers 12, 4, and 2, and I can reduce by as a 2 there, all those numbers. You do not reduce that root 66. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Minus the 2 goes away because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Root 66. All over, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 6 plus square root 66 all over 2. And on the next page, we have 2 more to go for today's demo. So X is going to be equal to opposite negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared, which we all know is 49, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 49. All over 2 times a. So that's going to equal negative 7 plus or minus. What do we get here? 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 49 is 441, and the square root of 441 is 21. Over 4. So what I really have here is negative 7 minus 21, which is negative 28, over 4, which is negative 7. And I have negative 7 plus 21, which is 14, over 4, which is 7 halves. And I have my 2 answers. So if you're looking at parabola and it would look like this, it would cross at negative 7 and positive 7 halves. All right, over here. So x is going to equal opposite of b, 5 plus or minus the square root negative 5 squared minus 4 times a times c. Oh, we're finally going to get an imaginary one. All over 2 times a. And again, you don't have to write all these. Here I will. 5 plus or minus. Now let's do this one. Negative 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 10, times c, which is 3. And we get negative 95. Now, the square root of negative 95. Well, we know we can't take the square root of negative 95, but we have to take that negative and get the I out of there. It's over 20. So when I'm solving this, I'm going to get 5 minus I root 95. Because root 95 doesn't reduce. All over 20. If they do reduce, you reduce them. And 5 plus I root 95. Sorry, my pen mouse took off there. Over 20. I cannot reduce that 5 and 20. I would need something in front of that I to reduce them by. And that's it, guys. Next, using the quadratic formula. Hopefully that clears up some things for me today. Good luck with that. Let me know if you have any questions. We can meet on Google Meet.